Welcome to r/nuclear revenge, where OP destroys his boss's company. Our next Reddit post is from R-Hunter. I was a field service tech for a total of 15 years. I've worked on more equipment than I can remember, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Mainly office equipment, PCs, and networks, but I did have the occasional phone system, camera system, fire alarm, security door, badge system, remote entry system, and more. Due to the sheer amount of different tech that I dealt with, I kept very meticulous notes, made wiring diagrams, recorded master passwords or backdoors to any of the systems I didn't work with on a regular basis, and kept backups of software related to any of these installs and operations. I did this with everything, unless otherwise specified by the customer, since I was going to be the guy fixing it if things went sideways. I was also in charge of training the customers on the technology. This led me to being a serious jack of all trades, and some serious burnout due to being the only tech. I finally had the opportunity to switch jobs, so I put my 2 weeks notice in with my old job, and this is the basic conversation I had with my old boss over the phone.
You're quitting? Why didn't you say something? Are you unhappy with your job?
I did say something, and you kept brushing me off, so yeah, I'm unhappy. That's why I'm giving you a 2-week notice.
There's no way I can get someone hired and trained to do your job in 2 weeks. What the hell am I supposed to do? You're my only tech. How am I going to take care of all my customers?
Not really my problem. But you have 2 weeks to come up with something. I'll keep doing everything until then, but I'm out after 2 weeks.
Let me get back to you. I need to do some thinking.
A week later, my boss calls me into his office.
I'm working on getting a new tech. Is there any way that you can stay longer than another week until I get one?
No, I'm not putting off the new job since it pays so much better and has actual set hours.
What do you want? Tell me what I need to do to keep you around long enough until I get this new tech in.
Seriously? Let me think. I thought about it for roughly 5 minutes and came up with this. He and I came up with a handshake agreement where I would work from him from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and I'd also get a free phone.
Now, I can hear all of you flying to your keyboards to jump into the comments to go, "You idiot! You didn't get it in writing!"
And you're all absolutely correct. I should have gotten all that in writing. I was burnt out, I was tired, and I had no more F's to give. The next day, I got the cell number transferred over to my name and set out business as usual. Now, at the end of the week, I got what should be my last check at the old rates. I turned over my tools and laptop and had a very pleasant weekend. Monday rolls around and I work the hours I said I would, then go to my second job. I do this for the week without issue. The new week kicks off and I ask if there's been any progress on getting a tech, and he says,
"Yeah, they start next week."
Okay, I'll start getting the new guy up to speed on our main system next week then. Friday comes, and I notice my check is still at the old rate. It's hourly now, and the hours are correct, but not my new rate. I try to get a hold of my boss, but no answer. The office lady says that he's out of service till Monday, and there's nothing she can do about my check.
You can all see where this is heading.
Monday rolls around, and I meet the new tech and talk to my boss about the check. So, my check amount wasn't right, and you ghosted me.
What? No, I didn't ghost you. I was out of town in an area with poor reception. I'll talk to payroll and get you a new check cut for the difference on Friday.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I'll start going over things with the new guy. Should I take him on any calls with me?
No, he's a trained tech, just not used to this brand of equipment. Go over everything with him.
Okay, will do. Friday rolls up, and I'm sure you're all shocked to read that payroll did not have a new check cut for me. So I said screw it and went home. Didn't even bother trying to call Dick. I knew that I wasn't going to get an answer. I just turned my cell phone off. Tuesday morning, I finally kicked my cell phone back on, and there's several voicemails and a couple of texts from my boss. He's wondering where I am. Why haven't I showed up for 2 days? I calmly call him and have this conversation.
Finally, what the hell? Where have you been for the last 2 days?
Do you have a check for me?
Check? What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about, and you know exactly what you did. You screwed me, just like you did for years, and I let it happen. I thought that I would help you out because I'm a nice guy, and you spat in my face. We're done. Lose this number.
We're not done. You still haven't signed the non-compete. Do it or I'll sue you for breach of a verbal agreement. I have a recording of our conversation and a witness who heard you say that you would sign it.
A little over a year after signing the non-compete and getting rid of my boss, Dick, I was enjoying my new job. I get a phone call from one of the last big customers I did a setup and install for a few months prior to me quitting. My old boss, Dick, had a contract with them where we were on call 24/7 for the next 3 years if something went wrong. And if something did get wrong, we had to get it fixed yesterday. I informed this client that I was no longer with Dick's company, and they would need to contact him directly to get this taken care of, and I bid them a good day. 2 days later, I get a call from my replacement asking for help, and I tell him where to find the information. I have to walk the new guy through finding where this information is stored, and it seems like the data is missing or something. This new kid was 15 years old when I quit. I had shown him some troubleshooting stuff, and he knew enough to be very dangerous if unsupervised. The next day, I got a phone call from Dick. "I was told you need to talk to me. Is this about the client? I told the new guy to handle it and call you. You always kept instructions for all that stuff. Just tell him where it is." "Oh, I already told him where to find the info, but there's a problem. It's gone." "What do you mean, gone? I know you kept backups." "I did. It was on the laptop when I turned it in, but the data's no longer there." "What the hell do you mean it's no longer there? Did you remote in and delete it? I know you did stuff like that to fix things. You shouldn't have been able to do that. I had your replacement make sure you couldn't." "Oh, he certainly made sure of that, but he also wiped out the backup data." "Well, I know you kept multiple backups. You told me that. Tell you what, give me the backup data and I won't pursue legal action since you didn't give it to me when you quit." "Yeah, that's gonna be a no from me." "What the hell do you mean, no? You didn't turn in the company property. I'll sue you." "First, that data was on my personal device, bought and paid for with my money. So I didn't need to give it to you when I quit. Second, I wouldn't give it to you even if I could. I destroyed it after I quit because of all the stuff you said. I knew that if I kept anything related to clients and you found out, you'd try to sue me like the man-child you are." Dick started ranting, so I just put my phone on silent and went about my day. After hanging up on Dick, I was heartbroken and felt that it was my responsibility, nay, my duty, to contact the abuse center and inform them of the situation. I talked with the secretary and asked to speak to her boss. I told the client everything I knew about the situation, and I also pointed out that, according to the contract they signed, Dick was on the hook to handle all of the expenses of any repairs to the equipment. After that, I get a phone call 2 days later from Dick, who was surprisingly non-threatening to start. "So, OP, I'm in a bit of a bind here. I need you to help me out with the client." "What do you want me to do? I signed a non-compete, and I sure as hell am not helping you for free." "I thought about it, and I can hire you as a consultant to go out and get things fixed for me so that you're not competing. You'll be working for me." "And how much will you be paying me to consult?" "How does $150 a day sound?" $150 a day? I don't know, that sounds awful cheap to me." "Cheap? That's way more than what you get at your new job." "You misunderstood me. I meant cheap for you. I'm just guessing it's probably costing you a lot more than $150 a day to pay for outside security around the clock for the client." "How did you? It was you. I hung up. The phone rings again, and I pick up to more screaming, so I hung up. The phone rings a couple of more times, and I sent it to voicemail. I think it was about 4 hours later that he called me again. "Hello?" "How much?" "Well, to be honest, I can't help you." "What?" "Obviously, I have to have a paper trail since I can't trust you. And for me to work as your consultant, I'd have to give you a detailed invoice that would list why and what I'm consulting for. However, due to the rather descriptive non-compete clause that you made me sign that specifically states that I can't do that for 3 years, my hands are tied, legally speaking." "But..." "Good luck with that." And I hung up. I immediately blocked his number and laughed so hard that I cried for probably 30 minutes. I don't think I've ever felt that good. I got some details from the secretary of the client. She was a chatty Cathy and loved drama. She talked my ear off when I did the install, so I called her a couple of months later. The client went after Dick for all the contract money, the expenses incurred, the installation costs, equipment costs, even the legal fees. From what the secretary told me, Dick settled out of court. She didn't give me an exact number or what all they got him for, but it was damn close to 6 figures total. The kid who replaced me quit, and Dick ended up selling his company to someone else. He had to sell his local store and downsize to an office closer to his home and focused mainly on furniture installs. Just last year, I ran into one of the owners from back when I started as a tech. Him and Dick were friends or something. And according to him, Dick is now out in Texas working at a furniture place while his wife, or rather ex-wife, and kids are still in this state. That was r/nuclear revenge, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.